Do a quick double check. Perfect. All right. So everything's working.
All right.
Are you ready to do this?
Ready to go.
All right. Hello and welcome to Comic Island.
The
My name is
crusade
Arden,
calls.
and this is Dylan. Say hi, Dylan.
Dylan.
Dylan. Say
Hello and welcome to Dylan Island
Dylan Island. So
in
today
the
we're
Nexus.
yeah in the Nexus. So today we're gonna try something out. It is another friggin' Let's Play, but I think we're going to do something a little bit different by ignoring Heroes of the Storm mostly and just talking about comic book stuff. And we can talk about it here and there, but it has very little to do with the channel normally. So we're mostly just using it as a backdrop while we just talk about stuff because we play this game all the time anyways, and we figured, well, we might as well record our insightful thoughts.
We are so insightful.
So we have so much to add to the internet. But I don't know. People like hearing kind of my unscripted thoughts sometimes. It seems, and you're a good.
And unfortunately, they're going to get mine too.
Well, I was about to say like you're a good. I don't know, co-host with me because we've known each other for so long.
We have
It's like going on to 18 years at this point.
something stupid
Something
like that.
Well, we
Yeah.
figured out it was 17 last year, so.
That sounds about right.
I've been doing calculations for the morning, and I'm pretty sure that leads to 18 years. About.
It took you all morning to calculate that?
It took me several hours. I had a team of expert scientists, and we've come to that
How much
conclusion.
did this cost you?
Several $1,000s.
Wow.
Yeah, but it was totally worth it. We needed a supercomputer from Brussels to do the final calculations.
From Brussels specifically.
Yes, I don't know where that came from. I wanted somewhere weird in Swiss. I think that's in Switzerland, right? Or Germany or something.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're going to get comments about this one.
Yeah. Oh well. My lack of knowledge about Europe.
Get ready for combat,
It's
heroes.
fine. Yeah, so that's about it. For those of you who have never played Heroes of the Storm, it's basically just League of Legends. For those of you who haven't played League of Legends, I'm not explaining all of that to you, but
It's basically Dota.
this is like the Super Smash Bros. Of Blizzard, though. That's a pretty good
Battle
Like-
commencing in
reality of it, I
10
guess. I think that's a good description.
5.
And yeah, that's about it. I don't really want to spend too much time talking about this. So instead, we'll just go on about comic books. So the way I saw it was there's always news going on in the world of comics that I never have enough time to talk about. Be it developments like, I don't know, when Iceman was found out to be gay, or weird stuff like just changes in the news, or when like covers start like getting politically corrected and all of that issues. I never really have time to make whole separate videos about them because that takes too long. So this hopefully will be a little bit more measured. And that sort of thing. So today's topic, and we don't have to like religiously adhere to it or anything. Oh, and I died. Is going to be. So I wanted to talk about the delays in Secret Wars. Now, you haven't really been a huge active reader in Secret Wars, but that's okay because I want someone who doesn't know exactly what's going on so I can explain it. But
Excellent.
you know the basics. Like Secret Wars is Marvel's big event for 2015. It's been going on for a while now.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't have been. It should have been done by now, actually.
Gee, that sounds like Marvel.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like an event in general. They did the same thing with DC and Forever Evil, and that took like almost a year to come out. due to
I remember
delays and
that.
stuff.
That was insane.
Yeah. Like, I actually was surprised when the last issue of Forever Evil came out, because it's like, oh, that's still going on? Like, it started in October of 2 years ago, and then it finally ended last year in, like, midsummer. So that was pretty interesting overall. Secret Wars has been delayed, not as extremely, but in contrast, like DC had this big awful.
Mines are open.
Okay. DC had a big, pretty crummy Convergence event, and it went for 2 months, and it went exactly 2 months. They didn't have any delays or anything like that.
That's good.
Yeah, and that was about the only good thing I can say about it. It just wasn't a very well-written event. Do you know who Deimos is?
No.
Yeah, you shouldn't. Well, he was like the main villain, and the idea of having like this, it wasn't even like a new character. I could kind of get around that. It was like a really obscure choice that like was from DC's ripoff of Savage Land, basically. And that sounds about as dumb as it was.
Did I not mention this
That's too bad.
Yeah.
But that doesn't really surprise me. I don't know. Nothing from DC has really interested me now for a long time.
Yeah. And so in contrast, Secret Wars, which has this very elaborate plot, like I wouldn't be able to explain it all in one sitting. It's been running since May. And we haven't even gotten to issue 6 yet. That should be coming sometime next week. That's out of 8. So they've been doing some pretty considerable delays to the extent that next week we're starting to get comics post-Secret Wars, which I thought was very interesting. Because this event has actually spanned all of Marvel. Like, everyone basically died. Spoilers. And so Battleworld was created in its stead, which is kind of how they've been explaining things, like even just on the intro comics.
Right.
So yeah, a bit of spoilers there, I guess, but whatever. Only in like the broadest sense. So all that's been happening, and I figured we'd talk about the delays and what they mean and stuff, because it is interesting. Like, I don't know when it's gonna finish, and I was kind of curious about what you thought about that. Because
Remind.
go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say it reminds me of Clone Saga in the '90s
Yeah.
and how long that took to come out. And
Well, and the interesting thing is, like, some comics have had delays that you wouldn't think they'd have. Like, there's Watchmen was delayed by a year between its second to last and last issue.
really,
Yeah, which I thought.
what was the reason for that?
I don't know, Alan Moore.
Oh, Watchmen. Sorry, I thought you were talking about before Watchmen.
No, the original one.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and I found out about that when I was reading about the Secret Wars delays, and they weren't really comparing the two, but they're like, a delay isn't necessarily universally
Your
bad, you know.
golem is complete, but it is
and-
If it's to get it right, you know what I mean.
Yeah, and
But I have a hard time believing Marvel's taking so long just to get Secret Wars right.
yeah, I don't know. It is all by Hickman, and he tends to really want to get things polished, and they've been doing a really good job with like the art of that series and all that stuff. So
Do you think the quality will be there to justify the delay?
Probably not. Probably it's on par with what it was supposed to be. Which I could see the merits too. It's a little weird that like they didn't do it ahead of time and they weren't kind of ready for that, especially because it's the core series. So now you have all these tie-ins. Most of them are done. I have one more left, and that's Old Man Logan, which is, by the way, has been like best. Brian Michael Bendis wrote that actually, and he's been, I would say it's some of his best work.
Really?
Yeah. It's been very low on dialogue, which is already like a miracle from him.
Yeah,
And,
that's for sure.
He's just done a really good job at like kind of capturing the original story, but he's really telling his own kind of version of it. He did like a fantastic job with
It seems my golems return to
it. And
earth.
yeah,
More bones.
I thought that was great. Not all the Secret Wars tie-ins have been great. You read a little bit of MODOK Assassin. That's one of my favorites too.
That was pretty neat.
Every single issue, like the one you read, has been like that as well. So it's not like you just happen to pick up the best one. They've all
That's pretty
been that
cool.
good. There's a few that I haven't read that I hear are very good. A few that I have read a little bit of. Some of them I covered on the channel. Some of them I haven't. Runaways, they did a new version of them, I guess.
Oh, really?
Um,
Like a new team or a new series?
A new team. The only one that holds over from the original is Molly Hayes. So it's a little
Okay.
like, okay. But it actually really holds up. I've only read the first issue, but it's
I'm
been
happy
really,
to hear that.
really promising, and I probably will check them all out.
I liked Runaways a lot.
Yeah. So, and I would argue Secret Wars has overall been a pretty good success. But yeah, this delay was quite interesting because it was just so freaking long and drawn out, and it's been months and months. And we get people asking, and it's been like a good month since Joey and I have covered the core series because
Wow, just how
Yeah.
long Secret Wars has taken.
yeah, the difference between 5 and 6 was a really substantial one.
So are all the other books delayed too, or just the core series?
No, and I think that's part of the problem too, is they're all wrapping up. So next week, like, Spider-Man goes back to normal, which is not a good sign because we don't really know what's going to happen in Secret Wars, but clearly, you know, I know it's not that big of a spoiler, I guess, but like,
Mines are opening, we should go down.
everything's just reverting back to some degree of normal, because like, we have Spider-Man being all like a rich CEO and
Yes, that's normal.
yeah, well, it's normal in the sense that he left the story as like head of like this company and was kind of heading in this direction.
Right.
It's kind of following up on Big Time, but it's kind of making him like sort of a secret agent. So he's got like a fancy Batmobile car. But that's like I hate the idea. I think they're just making Spider-Man worse, and he already wasn't doing well.
Yeah, that doesn't sound great to me.
I've gone on protracted rants on the channel because, like, it's they're making him out to be Batman, basically.
Which is exactly the opposite of who he is.
Yeah, exactly. So I think they're really. I haven't seen it, and Dan Slott did a great job with Secret Wars, but like doesn't put a lot. I don't put a lot of faith into it.
The heavens wrath fall. Akarat wills it.
So
Killing spree has ended.
people are gonna be watching my video and just screaming if they play this game.
Yeah, I was just thinking that this is, I think, my third time playing this character.
Yeah, that's the big part. I'm really not used to Joanna.
We did not pick good characters to play for this.
That's okay. We're not really a spectator sport, but yeah. So I didn't really have a point to make about this. I just thought it'd be an interesting discussion, and it is one of those like, yeah. I kind of wish they had
I go.
thought a little more. We could talk about that Spider-Man thing actually. That is interesting because like all I've really gone by is the cover and like the designs of his new car.
A hero has
And I get that like
abandoned
in the 70s or something he had like the Spider-Mobile and it could like walk on walls, but that was really dumb. Like that's always just been like a big kind of joke to me.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of those silly, like, spider pig things.
Yeah. They also keep relying on too much.
Spider Ham, whatever the fuck his name was.
He's like the friggin' mascot of Spider-Verse too. And I kind of was like, this. If this joke was ever funny, it isn't anymore.
Yeah, I'll second that.
So
The
that's
summoning is complete.
a bit annoying.
Your Gollum outpowers
But,
your foes.
I should get an
It's not.
apprentice soon.
I'm reluctant to judge it by its cover, but I know it's just not going to work out because, like, Spider-Man's whole point is he needs to be like relatable and grounded, and like
Absolutely.
just some kid in tights wandering around trying to fight crime or
Yeah,
pajamas,
doing
however
his
you want to put
best.
it. But yeah, that's him at his best.
Not Tony Stark, not Bruce Wayne.
No, and it was at least interesting when he was like as Tony's intern, but even that felt like he was still the underdog. He was still like kinda-
Absolutely, I agree. Still poor.
And he was even living in the Avengers Tower with Mary Jane and Aunt May, but then like that all worked, and it felt like he was grounded in his family, and he worked with them well, and like would go to them with decisions. Like now he's still single. The cover of this new Spider-Man is like him with like a
And
bunch of
so the
ladies,
bone
kind of
golems
James Bond
fall.
style. So he's like in a suit,
Dust to
and they're
dust.
like, "Oh, Spider-Man!" Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely not Peter Parker style.
Yeah, actually, that really drives against his character, doesn't it? And
Yes.
It's very Flash Thompson.
yeah, and Flash Thompson's nothing like that anymore.
No,
Which is all
I
fine.
agree.
And we've
High
read-
school Flash Thompson.
Yeah, and we've read the new stuff with Flash, and I really like that. I think he did too, like the Agent Venom stuff and all that.
Oh, absolutely. I love that stuff.
Yeah, that was
Especially
great.
when Rick Remender was writing it and wasn't writing garbage.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't read
kind
his
of
work in a while.
Yeah, he's kind of fallen off the radar. Well, my radar, just because it's been so mediocre, everything from him.
I haven't read anything that questions that. Uncanny Avengers was getting good for a while, and he did a really good job with Axis actually. For it being
Did
a
he?
big overblown event, he kind of had something there.
You have been slain.
Um, so that was all pretty reasonable. I don't know what else to call it. I don't want to say it was great, but I didn't hate that event. I thought it was just gonna be a big mess. And
Right.
it actually had a lot of stuff that I didn't expect, to the extent like I don't really want to give away too much about it, but it was pretty cool. It actually I didn't see the twist coming, to the extent that like it totally surprised me when I did find out about it.
Well, that's good.
Crusade calls.
And it was a pretty good story. Like I do want to revisit that one day and talk about it a bit
Akarak
more.
wills it.
It was an event, and it's like Secret Wars. Like it wasn't perfect. It wasn't
I
like
go.
the best comic I've ever read. It doesn't even really come close. But it was like it had something to it. It had merit, which I thought was really something. And same thing with Secret Wars. Like it's not gonna be the world's greatest thing. Like if you compare it to something like Astonishing X-Men and just, one of the greats that are these nice focus stories that really focus on like one team and one character. You can't have a big overblown event that does that. Like
Not
we
without a
both-
hell of a lot of setup, at least.
Yeah, we both like Civil War, for example.
Akarak
Yep.
wills it.
But I would argue that event is far from perfect. And there's people who hate Civil War,
Absolutely.
and I'd say they have merit to
Of
hating it.
course.
I don't. It's part of the reason that both of us read comics at all.
Absolutely.
So it's not bad, but I wouldn't pretend that it's perfect either. It has its own value,
I go.
the kind that we can kind of get behind. And that's what I felt about Secret Wars. In spite of its delays, really.
This has gone horribly wrong.
Oh, crap, they're all still there.
I just kamikaze to get some skulls.
Fair enough.
Very well.
They might have us beat on this one.
Somehow survived.
Well, I'm not doing as bad as I thought I was.
Rise again, my golems, and unleash your boundless
We didn't do too well with those golems, though.
No. No, we did not. Our team has not been coordinated at all, but I guess we haven't really tried to communicate with them at all.
That's true. We also have 2 tanks and no healers. That's not going to help matters. Like, our closest thing to a healer is Raynor, and that doesn't really count.
Your golem.
He's the self-interested healer.
Yeah.
Prepare.
And he does boost, like, your attack speed and stuff, but that's...
It's true, but that's not a heal.
No, it is not. It's supportive. But it's not a heal. Oh. Yeah. It's been pretty cool though. I do really like how Doctor Doom's like the main villain of the Secret Wars story. That's pretty
That
awesome.
is, that sounds really awesome.
It's
I
kind
love
of
that.
encouraging, and they haven't pulled any punches with him. Like he's Doom as he should be, and if not even like better than he's ever been. He's just in such a cool position, and they just roll with it. Like he's not just treated like, I don't know how much you know about it all, but he's basically like introduced as like the god of Battleworld. And-
That's awesome.
And he's treated that way. Like he's not treated like the king. He's treated like the god, the man who created Battleworld, and is like responsible for everything, and is just like considered all powerful. And like
Yes.
questioning him is like questioning God. And to kind of add to that,
Of course.
outside of his castle, is Galactus guarding. As,
That's awesome.
yeah, I thought that was a really nice little touch. And he doesn't really do much so far. But
We should turn around and help these guys. Oh, you're not in my crowd here.
Very
yeah,
well.
I am there. I am doing that. Oh
I am-
God!
Here.
Run away!
Let the heavens wrath fall. Of course.
Oh, now they're all turning on you.
And I'm dead. But I took them off you.
Hooray! Nice tanking, Falstad.
Yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense actually when you say it like that.
Why not?
They were pinning me down.
Careful, you've lost a fort.
Joanna's really good, but super annoying when, oh yeah, no, I'm Joanna. What's the mage's name? The World of
Jaina.
Warcraft? Jaina.
Jaina Proudmore.
Oh, well, no wonder I shouldn't get those confused. They're totally different names that,
The two
I'm so
J's.
foolish for getting those mixed up.
Double J.
The hero has abandoned the battle.
The crusade.
She was in Warcraft 3.
Return.
Maybe she's in World of Warcraft, I don't know. I never played the Alliance.
She is, I know that. I don't recall what she does. I recall, this island she's from got destroyed or something, and I don't know if she turned evil or if she just got really pissy about it. But I know because increasingly in that game, the Alliance and Horde have to work together.
Really?
Yeah, just for like external threats and blah blah blah.
Right,
They can't
demons.
just, like, well, the Lich King, for example, they gotta like team up for that. She's getting increasingly pissy about that.
Of course.
That's about all I know. My my knowledge of World of Warcraft lore is like practically non-existent. I know what I've picked up over cutscenes
yeah.
in World of Warcraft, and those are not the most substantial.
I know like Warcraft 3 lore, I guess.
Yeah,
I go.
and that puts you far ahead of me because I don't really know the lore of that game either.
I only know
I've
it because
just
I played it.
That's right.
Yeah, well, I played it, but mostly just multiplayer, so I have no
Oh, right.
like foundation.
I played the campaign.
story.
Yep.
Which
It was really fun.
Which makes sense, and it probably explains why I'm terrible at that game. And I'm just not a really good RTS person in general.
That's fair.
I don't have the mindset for it. I don't think my brain processes that quickly. I'm a
I can't
sinful
play-
man. Take your time.
Yeah. Yeah, the way you have to play those games competitively is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah. I played one game called,
Seems
ooh,
right.
it's gonna be hard to remember what it's called, but basically it's a combination of like turn-based and RTS strategy.
Akarat.
Okay.
So like you control this guy who can turn into a dragon, and he wears a jetpack. I don't know why, but he's a dragon with a jetpack. So already I'm like sold.
Why does the dragon need a jetpack?
I think you're asking the wrong questions there. I don't know. Well, it kind of makes sense. A dragon's so big it wouldn't be able to actually fly on its wings.
Okay,
So
hold
I-
on. Are we gonna really start talking about what makes sense about dragons and jetpacks and?
I suppose. I don't know. I've always thought it just looked cool. And I think in the game, the idea is it just lets you fly faster. I don't
Okay.
know if that's the function behind it or what the
Like
story is.
roller skates.
Yeah. So the idea is you make these like political decisions. So like it's stuff like whether or not you allow gays to marry, and there's different factions within your kingdom that like will approve and disapprove of that sort of thing, and you're trying to keep them all together so they don't like revolt from you.
Why not?
And then you control like a map for battle strategy and that sort of thing. Then when you have the actual battles, you go in and control it like an RTS. But you also get to play as your dragon, flying around killing people. It was really cool. I
That's
was
cool.
terrible at the game because like I'm not very good at real-time strategy. to begin
What's it
with.
called?
I'd have to look it up. It's called like Dragon Age, or not Dragon Age, like
Crusade
Dragon
calls.
Run or something like that.
Hmm.
Or Dragon Age, I'm pretty sure. That would make a lot of sense.
That narrows it down to about 50% of PC games.
Yep. I'm pretty sure if you looked up Dragon with a jetpack, that would, I can't imagine that's come up that much.
Your enemies
Oh, probably all the time.
take lost.
Oh dear. All
The old Jetpack Dragon series.
I'll take a look while I go to heal. I do. Um. Oh, Divinity Dragon Commander.
Divinity. Why does that sound familiar?
There's a series of games called Divinity, and I'm pretty sure they're all in the same universe. And those are like a co-op RPG kind of game.
Hmm.
I think, unless they're just sharing the same.
Oh, I know why. Because I have one of them installed on my computer. I just never played it.
Ah. I had one for a while, and it wasn't quite what I thought it was. But yeah, it was a pretty neat idea for a premise, and just like a lot going on at once. But they weren't like one part of the game was way worse than the other. They all
Right.
had their value and stuff, which was pretty cool.
Over here.
Oops. Um, so yeah, a pretty cool game
Seems
if you're
right.
ever bored and feel like playing
Being a
around.
dragon jetpack.
Yeah,
Akarat rules.
there was a lot of fun in that. And yeah, so that's all I really had to say about Secret Wars. And I think what you said at first about it was like, well, if they have like, if it's going to quality, like with Watchmen, or even the last issue of Forever Evil was really good, like the best one of them all. I can kind of get behind that, but when it's just being done so that it can just basically be to the standard of like acceptable levels, it's a little harder to get behind.
Fate is my shield.
Absolutely.
Are you prepared to fight the undead? Mine shall be shortly.
Of course.
And that's about it.
Thank you, my friend.
I can't really think of anything else to say on the matter. And I'm not really sure what else is going on in the world of comics. There's a bunch of trailers that have been released, and it's been kind of quiet since all the Comic-Con stuff has died down. I know Jessica Jones is coming out soon. I'm pretty excited for that, actually.
The television show?
Yeah.
Or Netflix show, rather?
Yeah, well, I figured that's what you meant. Yeah, that's coming out soon.
The heavens
That'll be cool.
fall.
I'm pretty excited for it. Especially after all the Daredevil stuff. Jessica Jones has always been pretty good, but it's been a little weird that they chose to go with that not only second, but at all.
Yes, I found second. But I guess people's interests are peaked, so.
I think it was smart of them to do that. Yeah, because like you have everyone hooked now that Daredevil has come out, and it was really good. I really liked it. I haven't really heard much criticism against it actually, so like pretty widely well received. And you have all this hype. People are going to be pumped for Iron Fist. I am, no matter what. And people should
Absolutely.
be excited for Luke Cage, no matter what.
I'm really stoked for both of those.
Yeah. So to go with like Jessica Jewel, Alias stuff next, the most risky of them, I think is kind of a good idea because even if it doesn't get a lot of attention, which it probably will because it's Netflix and it's probably going to be good. I have a feeling like they're doing it as kind of a safety precaution, but they seem to know what they're doing at Marvel, even with these Netflix shows. So it's really amazing how little they slipped up over the years, ever since Iron Man. Like, yeah, they've had like Thor 2 and Iron Man 2, but those weren't bad movies. They were just like aggressively mediocre.
Right.
Um,
No, that's fair.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna claim they were great, like especially Iron Man 2. That was just very middle of the road at best. But like you compare it to like X-Men: The Last Stand or X-Men Origins Wolverine or the Fantastic Four movies. And yes, I am picking on Fox there, but even like the Spider-Man movies that are bad, they all go way
Still,
off
yeah.
the cliff in comparison to Marvel.
Head and shoulders above those.
Yeah, exactly. Like I can watch Iron Man 2 and at least enjoy myself. With like
Of course.
that Whiplash guy was kind of dumb, but at least that bird business was pretty funny.
The heavens wrath fall.
Just wasting my superpower. Oh well. Killed some minions.
Why not?
So pretty excited about that. Have you seen the Deadpool trailers at all?
I have not.
Over here.
or I don't know how many trailers there are. There's at least one floating around. It was pretty great. It was very, very promising.
Excellent.
Like, it's actually funny. Ryan Reynolds kind of wears that role like a glove. He looks like Deadpool.
That's good.
You know what I mean? Like, he starts
Yep.
out looking normal, but they start talking about cancer therapy and stuff, and then you see him all messed up, and then he doesn't look like. He still looks like Ryan Reynolds, but I think that was kind of important to do.
You will need to
But he
gather
doesn't
more
look like it.
skulls
Does
than
look
that.
like him. You'll have to see it to understand what I'm getting at there.
Absolutely.
Your core is
And
under
then-
attack, heroes.
There's been, I think, a few trailers for like Star Wars and all that out. We actually, at my workplace, have been getting Star Wars like toys for that stuff, and they're kind of interesting to see. They're a little weird. I don't know what to expect out of that, but it can't.
I don't know
possibly-
either.
Can't possibly be bad as the prequel.
Yeah. That's for sure. Let's hope, though. You
Well,
never know.
Yeah, I am saying that, and I don't know for sure.
It is a Disney film.
It is, but you know, Disney's made a huge range of stuff. If you consider like New Line Cinema and all that, they haven't been all sunshine and lollipops. They have taken risks before, and even like with Pixar, which is not adult-oriented content, they've taken risks, and well, Pixar has on behalf. I don't know. I'm not willing to write it off entirely until I see it. I do think J.J. Abrams fits with the Star Wars world a lot better than the Star Trek world, so I'm kind of glad that he's doing that. Are you playing as Falstad again?
I don't know. I was waiting to see who you were going to play as.
'Cause I was thinking of trying him out.
You play him then. I will play.
Okay, but yeah, before we start, I think I'm going to sign off because we talked about Secret Wars for a while.
Sounds good.
I don't want to spend a ton of time recording because I don't know what our viewers are going to think. So viewers, let us know what you think in the comment section below. We can just do something regular like this. I'll try and be a little more prepared next time and go into news, but I just wanted to try it out, see what people thought about it. I haven't told Joey about it, so we'll see what he thinks of it. It's easier just to show him rather than try and explain what I was thinking. But I think it's kind of a way, because we're going to just be playing this game and doing other gaming stuff anyways, for me to create content about news in the comic book world and in movies and related media and that sort of thing without spending a ton of time on it. Because if I'm gaming anyways, I might as well make it productive. So yeah, let us know, because feedback's important, and like, 'cause if it's not being clear, it won't affect the other videos coming out, which is why I really like the idea, is it's not going to affect my other work. So I don't have to spend a day talking about something in the news and filming myself. This can just be kind of put up on the internet after we're done gaming and stuff. So I think that's about it. Thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully our rambling wasn't too bad or anything like that. I think we made some points. We didn't go too overboard with it. Like a nice 20-minute video is better.
It was
than-
lovely.
Yeah, it was a lovely time.
Watch it with your grandmother.
Yeah, I think we actually managed to avoid being too inappropriate too. So it's appropriate for all ages. You should definitely.
We are
watch this.
lovely gentlemen,
You should definitely
putting out a
watch this
lovely
with your
video.
grandma.
We're really doing a public service.
Yeah, and then you can explain to Grandma how your comic books are currently involving like the death of everyone and everything, nihilism.
Nihilism.
Good
Let's
old-
just sign off with nihilism.
Yeah. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and everything you know and love will die.